So this is the beginning of the short VR film The Lost Boy that I recorded with Jim Malcolm when I was in Las Vegas earlier this year. And I think it's a good illustration of how exciting it can be to be working in this industry. Jim had to drop me and drive off to get his car out of the picture, and he simply left me there with a VR headset on. So I was blindfolded, walking on the road, and before he left, I asked him, how will I avoid an accident? And he simply said to me, well, just listen carefully. So yes, it can be very exciting to be working in this industry, and in order to create cool content, we need to take some risks. So my company, Field of Use, which is located in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, was founded in the end of 2015. I switched from a completely different background, and I was interested in virtual reality and I love to travel. So I partnered with a software engineer and decided to start creating 360 video content. And my initial focus was to help hotels show off online, to help them get more traffic to their website and have more customers book directly on their website instead of booking by Expedia or Booking.com. So I bought my first 360 video camera, which was the Ricoh Theta, and I bought a VR headset. And I started to visit hotels in Amsterdam, Berlin, London, and New York. And I basically walked in with my headset and then talked to the manager on the floor, showed him a little video, and then asked him if I could record some footage at their hotel. And so I collected a lot of footage at different places, and this way I could start creating my first videos and learn about how to edit videos, how to tell a story in 360. And I created some nice little videos and then went back to some of the hotels to show off my work. So I talked to the marketing manager with my VR headset, and they were all very impressed because this was like over 2 years ago. So they all were interested in having a VR experience and see a 360 video in the headset. And especially because it was a video of their hotel, they all loved it. They loved it so much. But I didn't make a single sale. And I couldn't quite get to the bottom of that until I realized that most of the hotels didn't really have a very well-formed marketing strategy. So they didn't really know how to use the videos online. So I was a little disappointed, of course, and I started to visit trade shows where there's a gathering of potential customers in a certain area. And I went to the ITB, this was 2 years ago, and that's where I found my very first customer. So my first customer was a company organizing biking tours in the Netherlands, and they wanted to show off online with this experience where people could see what it would be like to be riding a bike in the Netherlands, visiting all the tourist places to see the cheeses and the tulips and the windmills. And it was a great opportunity for us to get started. So first of all, we had to buy a professional camera, so we bought the GoPro Explorer. And we had to learn all about how to work with the camera, how to import, synchronize, and stitch the files, how to tell the story of this company in 360, and how to edit the video, how to put logos and text in the video, and also how to ride a bike with a camera. So we put it on a stick in order to create this great experience, as you can see in the video here. Next, when we had created the video, we found out that we needed to give this company tech support so they could use it online and make it work well both on the web and on mobile. And this actually changed the direction of my company, where we were initially focused on creating beautiful 360 content and then switched more towards helping companies find out how they could use immersive content online, and also advising other companies to work with virtual reality content. So we had a very successful first year with a couple of really nice projects and nice customers, and we were very excited to what would be happening the next year. And with the Vive and the Oculus launched, everyone was really excited and waiting for the mass adoption. And we actually expected that all consumers would have bought a VR headset by the end of 2017. But as we all know, that didn't happen, right? So let's have a look at mass adoption of VR. So the adoption of new technologies in general take a certain amount of time and show similar trends with a slow start in the beginning and a steeper curve after a few years. And if we look at the mass adoption of VR, we can distinguish 4 different elements that depend on each other and in a healthy industry reinforce each other. So we have brands, we have consumers, we have content, and we have platforms. But if we don't have enough consumers being exposed to VR, then there's no market to tempt for brands to invest in VR content and advertising. And if we don't have enough content, then there's no need for consumers to buy a VR headset. And if we don't have enough consumers with VR headset, then who is going to invest in VR? We've been hearing a lot about this chicken or the egg scenario. We need one of these before things can get started, and everyone is waiting for the great mass adoption. And especially for content creators, there's a feeling of being powerless as long as this impasse hasn't been broken. Well, luckily, it's not that black and white. We have hardware developments with new 360 cameras and also affordable headsets, and we see great developments in software development. So it gets easier for us to create interactive experiences and work with Unity to create 3D objects and add them to our 360 videos. And also we see new platforms rising. And even though we're not there yet, we can make our content available and very valuable for brands. And that's what we've been doing, finding out how to create the best immersive content, how to tell a convincing story in 360, and how to use it independent of whether it's being consumed using a VR headset or not. So we don't really need to wait until all those consumers have bought a VR headset, right? We can also use our mobile devices to show off our content. So when I visited the hotels 2 years ago, I always had my headset with me because it was a great impression, everyone was interested and they all wanted to have a look in the headset and see the videos. But it wasn't always a very good experience because not everyone likes to put the big bulky headset on their face, and also people would accidentally touch the buttons on the side of the headset so the video would stop playing. So after a few months I decided to put my VR headset to the side and simply use my mobile device to show off the content. And it was always funny to see how I would start my video on my mobile phone and then hand the phone to my customer and they would go like this. And if you have a beautiful video like this band playing and you hold the phone like that, you're going to be looking at the ground and that's not going to be the best experience of the video. And if you consider the fact that consumers now spend over 4 hours per day on their mobile devices, marketeers realize that they should be doing more in the mobile space. So there is a great opportunity for content creators to help them start using immersive content. So how can we help brands get started using 360 content? Well, we sold a set of 360 still images to one of our customers. This was 2 years ago. And along with the contents, the images, we sent them a step-by-step instruction to make sure that they could put them on their website and it would work well on both mobile and the web. And I kept checking their website to see if they had put the images on the website. And after 3 months, they still didn't put the images on their website. So I reached out to them, and I found out that they still found it very difficult to do it themselves. So we realized that we have to make it super, super easy for our customers to work with immersive content. So we created a WordPress plugin to make it super easy to use 360 content on the web and add a nice layer with a logo or text and maybe even put a clickable link in it so they could use images and videos on their website. So here's an example that we have on our website, and if you see how you can scroll around and you have like the look through the device experience, especially if you if you use your mobile phone to look on the web, you immediately see it grabs attention because you immediately see that it's a 360 still and it's not just a regular picture. So we all know how important social media is, right? And I always love it when I'm giving presentations. There's always someone in the audience secretly snapping a picture of me and then tagging me on Twitter along with that picture. And we love it because we want to show off, and brands certainly want to show off and get more traffic to their website. So we have to think about ways how we can help brands show as many platforms as possible to show off their immersive content. Well, Facebook allows us to upload the videos directly, and they've made some really great improvements over the past years. So it's a better experience right now. But Instagram and Twitter and also LinkedIn still don't fully support 360 videos. So, well, we can share our YouTube links to Twitter and to LinkedIn, but we cannot upload it directly. So we decided to find a way to help brands use all those platforms. So we created this short, flattened version of the immersive content and then linked that to the original video that will be on YouTube or on their website. So here's an example of a video that we created at Santa Cruz. So it's the flattened version where you use an auto rotation just to grab attention. And especially since you don't see those videos on Instagram or Twitter, it's a great way for companies to show that they're innovative and they're using this great technology. Another way to help brands is by using more interactive experiences. So we can create a virtual tour where we use the hotspots to connect videos, but you can also use those hotspots to connect to a website or add a picture with information, like the one that we see here that we created at Central Park in New York. Well, we also created an interactive experience for one of our customers where we created a clickable a billboard at Times Square. So we put an extra layer with a logo on top of a billboard, and it's a clickable link just to help the company get more traffic to their website. So here you can see it, there is the link. And if we look at the performance of 360 videos in general as compared to regular videos, we see that people are more likely to watch a 360 video for the full length, and are also more likely to share those videos. And as it's natural to look around and click around, it naturally drives people to click on links as well. So the click-through rate for 360 videos is 4 times higher than in a regular video. And those are very important arguments that we can use to convince companies why they should start using immersive content. So yes, there are great opportunities for content creators to make money in immersive content. We just have to think about ways how we can create the coolest experiences. And every now and then we've got to take some risks. And in this particular situation, the risk was mostly for me to lose my dignity, because I was walking around in New York City with a camera strapped to my head. I literally stitched the gorilla pod on a baseball cap. So I was able to walk around freely with the camera on my head, and I was filming in the metro, going down the escalator. I filmed at Times Square. And especially in a crowded situation like Times Square, you don't really want to put your camera somewhere and then hide and have the risk of losing your camera. So I could just stand there and be my own stand. That's how I created this little video here, using the Views camera, which is a 3D camera. So we now would want to have a VR headset to see the depth in the video as well. And next time I have to make sure I'm going to be sitting where those guys are, so I have the other guys jump over my camera. Well, that would be really be a very engaging experience. Talking about taking risks, I like to work with a moving camera because I think it's a very engaging experience, and our customers have been asking for that many times. So we have this special rig that we use to put on a car, and we've been filming like that in the Netherlands, in London, and New York without a problem. But when we were in the Nevada desert in the middle of the summer, it was so hot, so the suction cups of the rig came loose, and we had our camera rolling on the highway. You're gonna see it in the video here. Luckily, we heard the camera fall, so we managed to pull over, and I was running on my flip-flops in the summer heat to try and find my very expensive camera. And luckily, I managed to find it and pick it up, and neither me nor my camera got hit by a truck. So that was a very, very interesting experience, but we do everything to create cool content, right? So, yes, anything to create cool content, right? And in the end, I always get the shot. It's not going to be easy, though, because we're going to run into many difficulties, issues, things we don't know how to solve, and we're not going to be able to learn it from a book. But the only way to find out is to get out and pioneer and find ways to create cool content and to share our experience with others and talk to people. So together we can build this ecosystem to learn in. And whether that's by strapping camera to your head or just like Jim in the picture here, who had his Views camera, he handed it over to NASA so they could film in space as well. Just think about any opportunity you can think of to create cool content. And I had an interview with Chris Bobodis a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's been here last year. He's the head of immersive for Adobe right now. And we talked about creating immersive content, and what he said was that it's not necessarily about the most expensive camera or the perfect stitch, but what really is important is that you tell your story in 360 and you make a very engaging experience. And I think that we all are trying to help the industry grow, which is really great. And I'm very thankful to the organizers here to be here today to share our experience. And I would very much like to get connected to all of you, whether that's going to be online or here today. I'd love to see what you're creating. I love to hear your experience, and I want to thank you for your attention, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.